Welcome back. CBS News sat down for an exclusive interview with two women who say Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell sexually harassed them. They tell Nancy Cordes why they finally decided to go public. Now, Swalwell denies allegations of sexual misconduct, but he paused his campaign for governor on Sunday and then announced he will resign from Congress. Nancy Cordes joins us now from Washington. This is so shocking to so many people. Nancy, good morning.
Yeah, and I think it was shocking for these women to find themselves in the middle of this. This was the first time that they have been willing to go on camera to tell their stories. They said it was not an easy decision, but that by coming forward, they were shocked to discover how many women had stories that sounded just like theirs.
I didn't tell anybody for years.
What happened?
Out of fear.
What were you afraid of?
Well, at first I thought I was all alone.
Anakah Alrech was still in college when she says she got what she thought was a big break. California Congressman Eric Swalwell offering to stay in touch after meeting with her student group in Washington, D.C.
He offered to mentor me.
Wow.
That was, as someone who knew virtually nothing about politics at the time, or no one, that was just an incredibly generous offer that I felt very lucky to have.
She says Swalwell created a group chat with all the students and then added her as a friend on the messaging app Snapchat.
And so I asked the other people that were in the meeting, did he add them? And they said no.
Were they all men?
Yes. I was the only woman in the meeting.
She says Swalwell, who was then in his late 30s, started out talking politics, but his messages soon turned flirtatious.
Ultimately, it reached a point where he invited me to a hotel to meet him. It was very clear what the connotation was. At that point, I completely stopped responding. What I keep thinking back to is how lucky I am that I didn't go to that hotel.
Alisa Samarco says she had a similar experience in 2021. She sent Swalwell a supportive message on Twitter. And to her surprise, he messaged right back.
I was so excited. I was a low-level staffer who had no real political background, and he was this established figure in Democratic politics.
They began to text, but she says he soon asked if she too was on Snapchat, where messages and photos automatically get deleted after they're viewed.
How did the tenor of his conversation change?
It started out as professional and platonic, and then slowly they became more and more explicit, asking me what I was wearing. Then one night he was on a trip and he was laying in his hotel room bed, and then he sent me a photo of his penis.
Samarco showed us text messages she sent to friends at the time about Swalwell's alleged advances. In one, she wrote, "He's snapping me right now, asking when he can see me." But beyond that, both women said little for years as they built careers as Democratic campaign strategists.
I was terrified that if I spoke out against him, then people would think that I was a loose cannon, that I couldn't be trusted, that maybe I'm making it up.
That was until Swalwell decided to run for governor of California.
I'm Eric Swalwell, and it's this simple.
And quickly moved to the top of the pack.
The idea that this man who has already abused his power would be given even more power and could potentially harm even more women made my whole body sick.
So, 2 weeks ago, Alrech reached out to her good friend Cheyenne Hunt, a Democratic content creator, and asked her to post a video about the rumors that have dogged Swalwell for years.
The Democratic candidate currently leading in the California governor's race has a known history of being predatory towards women. I could never have guessed where it would lead us.
Where did it lead?
I was immediately slammed with DMs from other women who said, I have a story to tell. And that was when I realized that this was a lot bigger than I think any of us knew.
Swalwell has acknowledged what he called mistakes of judgment, but denied all allegations of sexual misconduct.
They have never happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have.
And yet on Sunday, he suspended his bid for governor, and yesterday announced his plan to resign from Congress.
Is that justice in your view?
I think we just prevented another 30 to 40 years potentially of him harming people if he were to stay in Congress.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think we have served justice for his future victims. Wow. That won't exist anymore.
We reached out to Swalwell for comment on these specific allegations multiple times, and we did not hear back. But in videos, he has accused these women of somehow working with MAGA Republicans or even a rival campaign to drum up these allegations against him. The women we spoke to said they are not affiliated with any California campaign. In fact, Ali and Anakah said that they didn't even know each other before they both independently decided to come forward.
Wow, really underscores the importance of speaking up. Nancy, thanks so much.